Well, it is a slow, difficult search to find survivors and victims of a powerful earthquake that struck Tibet. Chinese state media report at least 95 people dead, 130 injured. The magnitude 7.1 quake struck a remote border region this morning, not far from Nepal. More than 100 aftershocks have followed. The quake was felt in Nepal, in Bhutan and in northern India. Well, CNN's Mark Stewart has the latest for you.
The moment a deadly earthquake strikes a remote region of Tibet. Shelves emptying out as people flee a grocery store. The 7.1 magnitude quake hitting Tuesday morning near the Himalayan border with Nepal. The epicenter around 50 miles north of Mount Everest, turning hundreds of houses into rubble. Destroying cars and motorbikes and causing landslides, cutting off mountain roads. Anna Guo, an 18-year-old tourist from Sichuan province in China, shot this video when the quake hit on her way to visit the Tibetan base camp of Mount Everest.
I was waiting in line and we heard something. Then we realized it was an earthquake. It got stronger and stronger and the windows started shaking. People started panicking. We have never felt an earthquake that strong before.
Guo fled the area with her tour group on a bus, and they're now sheltering in a nearby city a few hours' drive away. Now, in the towns and villages around the epicenter of the quake, the number of fatalities is mounting, and a major rescue operation is underway as emergency workers try to dig people out of the rubble and treat the injured survivors. Chinese state media says at least 200 soldiers from the People's Liberation Army have been sent to the area, and another 1,500 are on standby. Rescue teams expected to work into the night, facing the challenges of darkness, cold weather, and high altitude. Mark Stewart, CNN, Beijing.
Well, our CNN meteorologist Derek Van Dam has a closer look for you now at the region that has been impacted by the quake and the challenging rescue conditions that you just heard Mark mention in his report.
When this powerful and deadly earthquake struck just after 9 a.m. local time, what struck me is the shallow nature of this earthquake, only 10 kilometers deep, meaning that there wasn't a lot of ground to absorb the shaking. So the earthquake was certainly felt well away from the epicenter, and we do anticipate the aftershocks to continue, especially with this powerful of an earthquake. In fact, when we look at similar strength earthquakes, magnitude 7.0 or greater, we typically experience at least one magnitude 6.0 or greater aftershock, with several dozen 5.0 or less. Now, where the earthquake occurred on the Tibetan Plateau, it is a high elevation location. So here's the Himalayan mountains, here's Nepal, India to the south, China to the north. That's the epicenter right there. So just by its true nature of its location, it is a cold part of the world, but it's been particularly cold lately. Now, in terms of the weather going forward, we don't have any significant weather systems in play for the search and recovery efforts until the weekend. So we look towards Saturday and Sunday when you start to see some of this impactful weather starting to impact the Himalayas and the surrounding areas that could pick up the winds and complicate that search and rescue effort going forward. So that's again for the weekend. In the meantime, generally dry conditions anticipated in and around the epicenter. Here's the closest reporting station. The next 3 days, you can see temperatures will drop well below the freezing mark overnight, so that also complicates the search and recovery efforts. But you can see by the afternoon, temperatures warm into the single digits to around 10 degrees by Friday afternoon.